Hi, I'm Codex, and I like theory crafting. Because I like theory crafting, I've been working on trying to build tools to make theory crafting better. For example, the way that we model combat using SimCraft and by extension RaidBots isn't done in a way that actually looks like actual boss encounters. To address this, I've been building a tool that extracts boss movements, adds spawns and deaths, boss immunities, and boss damage amplifications from combat logs hosted on warcraftlogs.com. This information then gets converted into a script that can be added to the simulation parameters in SimCraft, allowing you to more accurately simulate what actually occurs in combat. I've talked about this a couple times on this channel, and I'm finally ready to let the public interact with this tool and play around with the scripts that it generates. Before going further, I need to give a massive shout out to Hodolm and Tobes on Discord. Unlike me, they have actual skills when it comes to programming, and they provided me with a ton of excellent suggestions on how to make this tool suck less, and were incredibly patient with me as I asked copious amounts of stupid questions. Now, unfortunately, I cannot just give a link to let you download the fully working tool, and this is because there are these things called API keys, and basically, if I give out that key, people can do things that will cause the key to get revoked. Additionally, if that key gets used too frequently in a short period of time, Warcraft logs will say, hey, you're doing that too much, slow down. And then you're going to have to wait an entire hour before that tool would work again. To deal with this reality, I've done a number of things so that people of varying levels of technical capability can get some use out of this project while also attempting to minimize the amount of time that I'll have to spend troubleshooting or playing tech support for other people. First, I've hosted the project on GitHub, but the file containing the API token is missing. For those of you who know how to get an API token from Warcraft logs, just get your own, add it to the program, and then you can be off and running and do whatever the heck you want with the tool. I put the link to the GitHub page in the description of this video. For people who are less comfortable with their programming capabilities but are comfortable doing some of the more advanced things in RaidBots or SimCraft, I have created a Patreon and have publicly and freely posted scripts for all fights that this tool can accurately simulate. I will be adding to this list as I can get more fights working, and also will be posting scripts for as many of the Sanctum of Domination encounters as can be feasibly modeled with this tool. All future scripts like this will be made freely available as well. If you need to be walked through how to use these scripts in RaidBots, I have created a written guide and also a video guide on how to do that. If you give me $1 on Patreon, you will gain access to those guides. If you don't have the technical ability to get the tool working yourself via the GitHub, but want scripts made for your own logs so that you can simulate what happens with your guild's kills rather than just using the scripts that I've posted, which are from my kills, if you give me $5 on Patreon, then you'll be able to send me a log and tell me what fights you want scripts for, and then I'll run it through my tool and I'll give you those scripts. There is no limit on how many times you can do this. I just simply ask that you don't try to abuse it. If you want to see the scripts or get access to the guides or start getting your own scripts made, I put a link to my Patreon page in the description of this video. Now, I hate sales pitches, so I'm not going to try to give one. I'm not going to try to convince you that you absolutely need to give me $5 so you can get your personal scripts because it'll make you 18% better or something silly like that. Instead, for the rest of the video, I'm going to be doing the opposite. I'm going to tell you all the reasons I've come up with as to why this tool is not the best thing since sliced bread, it's not going to revolutionize the way that we do theory crafting, and give reasons why this tool isn't as great as it may sound. First and foremost, right now, using this tool on RaidBots kinda sucks. Currently, the only way to use these scripts on RaidBots is using the advanced tool. I've been in contact with the RaidBots administrators, and they have told me that they are planning on adding a feature that would make it possible for these scripts to be run directly in Top Gear, Droptimizer, and etc. However, to quote them directly, there is no ETA right now, but it will happen. In the Patreon guides, I go over how to get around this limitation such that you can run Top Gear sims using the advanced tool with these scripts, but it's still just clunky to use. Second, there are some fights that I am currently unable to generate scripts for. Some of them are because of the encounter design, such as Sun King Salvation, where when the boss appears the second time, it's not at the same health that he left at, or on Council Blood, where the bosses heal themselves when one dies, and also there is a custom haste buff from the dance phase. And also there's Sire Denathrius, which has the mirrors that teleport you across the room. Other fights, such as Huntsman and Stone Legion Generals, don't work because of how the tool is set to operate normally. I'm in the process of trying to adjust the tool so that it can accurately model these encounters, because I do think that it is possible to do that, but I just haven't completed that part yet. The third problem with this tool is that it only generates scripts for bosses that have been killed. This tool cannot be used to try and simulate optimizations for World First Raiders, or for a strategy with unique and simulation impacting solutions to mechanics. I am hopefully going to one day create a different tool that will solve this problem, but that's a long ways away. Fourth, to quote the warrior theory crafting extraordinaire Arkham Tyros, we've built sims that completely replicate specific bosses, but it has never really resulted in any meaningful difference. And he's right about that. However, a key point that's worth mentioning is that these specific encounter simulations were created by hand, which takes a ton of effort. So, because the return on investment is so low, there hasn't been much motivation to keep making more. Also, it's my hypothesis that in order for there to be a meaningful difference, we need to have both accurate models and encounter specific APLs. Which leads to the fourth problem of why this tool isn't likely to be immediately game changing. We don't have fight specific APLs. While most of the default APLs that SimCraft uses are capable of dealing with things like movement and AoE, we're not even a tenth of the way towards being able to develop a reasonable APL that is optimized for specific encounters. Part of why we are so far from being able to do this is the simple fact that it's incredibly hard. However, I conjecture that part of the reason for this difficulty is that we don't have a large enough collection of accurately modeled encounters and haven't had these models published quickly enough for theory crafters to be motivated to try and generate these encounter-specific APLs for that fight. Now, obviously, as I am posting this, it is exceptionally late into the Castle Nathria tier at this point, but going forward, I'm hoping to be able to quickly publish decent scripts for as many fights as possible in Sanctum of Domination as soon as public logs become available for Mythic Kills when that raid gets released. Anyway, that's my tool. It's probably hot garbage, but it's my hot garbage, and I'm proud of it. If you have any questions about the specifics of how this tool actually works, then feel free to ask. Also, feel free to laugh at me and tell me how I've wasted my time making this tool and or roast my awful coding skills in the comments. Obviously, if you just want to throw money my way on Patreon, I will gladly waste it trying to build a McChicken Mountain. And as always, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and subscribe for more.